First and foremost, we want to give all praise, all honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Hashem, Hashem,
double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elder bishops. Salutations to all the fellow laborers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever, right? To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black thing, FBI, CIA. All right. And to the few sisters that are listening and learning, we say shalom. All right. We have the brothers of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, and we have 11 brothers from Iowa here with us. The mighty man from Iowa. All right. We're just gonna jump right into this lesson. Before we even do that, I just want to say something to all you younger brothers out there. All right. This is for you younger brothers who are not fathers on this side, which is really a blessing. All right. Don't involve yourself with these women. If you don't have children, don't involve yourself with a woman who has children. Come on, bro. Do not do that. At all. Don't do it. All right. Don't do it. Right. No, there's plenty of women out there that don't have children. Find one. Find two, find three, I don't care. But don't go and tie yourself down with a woman who's already, got somebody else to see. And you're a young man with no children. Don't do it. You're older, bro, you got kids, she got kids, y'all make it work. That's a whole different thing. I'm talking about you young bros. Don't do that, man. All right. Real quick, Jeremiah 16. You know what I want. And that's not where we're going with this. We're really going to go into Romans, but I just want to touch on that first, because there's a lot of women out here that are completely out of order, man. And for what that he's doing in the earth what he's doing, because by a miracle from heaven, you got women that are actually, starting to see. That's right, brother. There's women who are actually starting to see it and be like, well, maybe I need to rethink this Isaiah 4:1 thing. Right? I need to, get myself in order. All right.
And that message you played for me earlier, that was one of the most sweetest messages I ever heard from a woman to a man. And I promise you, if you didn't hear that type of sweet words, the woman you dealing with, she's not calling like Sarah called Abraham Lord. If they ain't calling you Lord, they're not making sure your sack is empty and making sure that your cares are met. The
woman says she's fighting to be a wife.
That's right, bro.
To serve the how about Shemashah. She's trying to secure a wife. That's amazing, man. She said,
I love to be in love with you. That fucked me up. How you love to be in love with a motherfucker. Now, these females right here, they are off. They are wicked. Fuck these women. The Lord's about to give us everything we ever desire.
Right. Yeah, he is, man. So just be patient. Be patient, man. You gotta wait. This is a betrothed woman. This is, But anyway, that neither here nor there. Give me that scripture, Bob. Push
up. 16:2.
Jeremiah 3 and
1. Okay. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1. They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted?
Right. So don't belittle yourself. You are kings, future kings. That'll be the father of us, man. All right, brothers, embrace who you are, who we are. Be patient, man. All right, don't go and backstep with these women who don't appreciate you and appreciate who you are. Okay, don't do it, man.
We got something.
All right, bring it up.
This is Sirach 33:18. Hear me, O great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, ye rulers of the congregation. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again. As long as thou livest, and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any, for better it is that thy children should seek to thee, that thou shouldst stand to their courtesy, and all thy works keep to thyself the preeminence, let not a stain in thine honor.
Right. I'd rather be lonely and alone, man. With Rosie Palm. Loyal as hell.
I got one for you.
Than to be with some dragon. Go ahead, brother.
This Rock 36. I'm gonna start at 22 because it
Come on.
goes into something you said earlier, but the point is a little down. This Rock 36, 22. The beauty of a woman trips the consonants, and a man loveth nothing better. Of course, a man loves a beautiful woman, right? Verse 23 lays what's more important. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then it's not her husband like other men. So going back to Elder Wright melted over here in that message, you know, no, I'm not saying that as an insult. He melted over that message. It says right here, her husband is not like other men. That's rare. These bitches are dragons.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
Let's keep going. He that getteth the wife, he getteth a possession. So keep in mind who the possession is right here, the wife. A help like unto himself and a pillar of rest. So she's like your shoes, all right? She's like your TV. She's like your, you remind me of my Jeep. She's your fucking car.
Right.
You know what you do, she's supposed to do, right?
Ottoman, it's a pillar of rest. When you see like to going into what the elder brother saying, when you see like an ottoman, you got a couch, you just lay your feet back on it. That's what a pillar of rest is. An
Hey,
ottoman.
that's that lazy boy that's at the main house.
That's right. Calm.
Yeah.
That's
Kick it back.
a very comfortable chair.
Yeah.
Put to everybody.
Right.
Where no hedge is, no guard, all right? That's the hedge, a guard, a boundary. You need a man to put limitations on it, right? Where no hedge, covering, protection. There, the possession is for you. And that possession going up top is what? The woman. So a woman without a hedge, without a man, a husband, is spoiled. All right, these bitches out here more depressed now. They got everything they wanted, right? Supposedly, and now more depressed than ever. Because Genesis 3 says what? Your desire shall be to thy husband; he shall rule over you. Every woman, really, you're not going to be fulfilled unless you're ruled over by your man. Now you dominating the man. Now you plug Pegasus in the man. All right? Your man must rule over you, and you'll never feel satisfied. And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. So it gives the balance to it. The difference is this: a man wants a woman. A woman needs a man.
Right.
It's just like we're the woman of Yahweh Shai.
Right.
And we need Yahweh Shai.
100%.
Without Yahweh Shai, we, and we just willful, then we're on our way to death. So we need our husband, the bridegroom, Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Because it's all about direction. So the same way her life is simpler if she's followed direction. Our life would be simpler if we followed direction.
That's right. We don't want this type of woman right here.
A mind well instructed.
You don't want no.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 26. It's Sirach chapter 26 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 13. It says, "The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. This is a silent and loving woman is a gift from the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a man well instructed."
Okay.
Yeah, and that's something that this is really going to be hard to find here in Babylon. A silent and loving woman. All right, that's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Brothers, quick, turn your notifications, your sounds off.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, we got a couple scriptures.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was on here.
Jeremiah 16.
Who got Jeremiah
Sort of what the
16?
elder said at first.
Pops got Jeremiah 16.
About y'all not having children.
Right. This is Jeremiah 16:2. I'm starting 1. The word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. For thus says Yahweh concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth. That's what we say about these 2/3 niggas.
So there's no point in having no children in this place.
That's definitely the 2/3 children.
Right.
and that generation that's here that wanted Barabbas.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
And they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven.
You better believe there's some Jakes getting shot down by law enforcement right now.
Absolutely.
And some of them are, I ain't even do nothing.
Yeah, still got shot at Bebe's
They
party.
still that's what Esau like to say.
Stop resisting.
Right.
That's the Edomite term of endure. I didn't do nothing.
Right.
With an F. Nothing.
Okay. They shall. Let me finish this. They shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth.
Con, I got something to back you up because you talk about them degenerate ass little niggas that these bitches have. This is Ecclesiasticus 23 and 22. Thus should it go also with the wife that leave her husband and bring in heir by another. For first she have disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly she have trespassed against her own husband. And thirdly, she have played the whore and an adulteress and brung in children by another man.
The triple crown.
Them YNs right there, them young niggas, them demons out here killing each other that these fucking bitches have raised. And then they act like fucking females, because that's why they so fucking irrational. They ain't rational thinking. They don't know how to think rational. They irrational. They already ready to kill each other, shoot shit.
This jailhouse is a couple feet away. That's what they
right.
filling up.
That's it. Young and dumb.
For that very reason.
But there was a report that said over 90% of all inmates are male inmates are in there over a woman. Over 90%. Now they said 100.
And 80% came from single mother homes.
Mhm.
Right? So the very things that you're talking about, man. But we're gonna switch it up here.
Okay.
Right? Because what we're gonna talk about. What was that guy's name that made that video? That was
That Ringo motherfucker?
Yeah, no, not him. I think his name is Babin. The one that did the video with collaboration with Vocab Long, the Edomite. Basically, he wrote up on the IUIC. All right. No, it wasn't Adam 22.
Adam 22.
I'm trying to remember his name. But anyway, he rolled up on the IUIC, and they're amateurs when it comes to a lot of things. Yes. They really when they teach and when they speak from a very there's nothing wrong with being fierce, but they come with an emotional thing, they
feminine,
and especially that ASAP dude. I'm not gonna call him a bishop, but that guy
call himself ASAP.
Right, they come he like the rapper ASAP, not ASAP, but the point being is that they rode up on the camp and jumped out and tried to control the narrative, talking about, do you hate white people? All right. First thing. All right. So any of you younger brothers, let this be a younger brother. Baba shot. Guy jumps out the car and runs up with his camera and starts screaming. You're a racist. You hate white people. What you gonna do? What would your response be?
To a young brother, please.
Who's that young brother?
I would tell him that the word white is a social construct.
That's my man.
Is that what you man?
Yeah.
Say it loud again. Say it
I
loud.
would tell him that the word white is a social construct.
Exactly. So basically, it's some shit y'all made up, and we got the receipts on that. So we don't hate a color. We don't hate white. We actually hate people. And we hate the people that the Lord hates, because the Lord talks about hate in the Bible.
Yeah.
All right. You don't get mad because you took this Bible, you took our book, all right, and then you push forth a false doctrine that God loves everybody, and that is nowhere in the Bible. What you got, brother?
It's the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13.
And that's where we going, to the book of Romans. Go ahead.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So yeah, those Idumeans, man, what they fake fiat call white, the Idumeans, the Edomites.
And that's what exactly, brother. And that's what they're trying to get away. They're trying to get away from their nationality, from their heritage, man.
That's right.
Okay. Real quick, somebody give me Romans 9 and 26.
I got it. This is Romans 9 and 26. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power.
And that's what's happening. That's why they have an issue with it. There's a video that came out, and I did a response to it this morning. 2 people sent it to me yesterday. And it says, Iran reveals that the CIA and the FBI are watching the black Israelites.
Black.
All right?
Yes.
So the first thing, so they jump out talking about the black thing. Young brother, what you gonna say?
I'm gonna answer it with a precept. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10. It says, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living gods." So we're not black. We're not black Hebrew Israelites. We're just Hebrew Israelites.
We're just Hebrew Israelites. Somebody get it real quick. 2 Corinthians 11:22. And right, and then also when you showed them the 12 tribe sign, when you put all those people together, they're innumerable. All right. When you add in Revelation 7 and 9,
The multitude.
the great multitude, we're really innumerable.
That's right.
Because our people are scattered among all people and look like those people where they're scattered to. You've been there 300-400 years, 1,000 years, 14, 15, 1,600 years living among the people that don't look like you, but your seed line that survived, what do you look like? It's really a simple thing. See,
Very simple.
Esau Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, he called himself white. All right, just like he wants to call you black. All right, he made that shit up.
It's like that Acts 2. When you read the Acts 2, it names different places, right? It says Egypt, Patros, places.
Go to it, brother.
God.
So I think it's about 9 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
God, it actually spoke about Pentecost.
Yeah, read them, brother, in the Acts. But first, give me that second.
Yeah, 2 Corinthians 11:22. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I.
Right. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. I like to quote this scripture a lot, especially when I'm teaching. It really aggravates the hell out of Edomites because that's what we call ourselves, the Hebrew Israelites. They put that fault because I see a lot of dark brothers in here, but I see a lot of brown people. I don't see one black person in here. That's some shit that they made up. Man. All right. You take a piece of chocolate. This brother's in here darker than Kadar. All right. So the point is, you take a piece of chocolate and you put it up against their skin. That's what they look like. All right. Some brothers look more like milk chocolate. Some brothers look more like caramel. All right. And see, that's just it. See, the Lord made us special. We're a guard.
On the noise, man. Hey, look, on that fucking noise, man.
We are a garden of many different flowers and plants. That's right. All right. We don't, because the average Edomite, they all look the same as far as complexion is concerned.
Right.
All right. Then we come different. Yet we're the same. Our spirits are the same.
Yeah, he seen the variety, brother. He said he watched us, but still don't come with that black shit.
They still come with that black shit because it's offensive. Matter of fact, you still got that definition of black, brother? Baba shot. I gotta get that back from you. Baba shot's gotta go on the evidence folder.
You could take.
This is the word black. Yeah, here you go right here. This is the word black. What was this the source again?
That was from I think it was, man, which one was it from?
Rogers Thesaurus.
It was a Rogers Thesaurus. What do you call it? I turn off silence your phones now. Everybody got it. Stop, silence your phone. Now, right now. Whatever you're doing. The Thesaurus, the Rogers Thesaurus 1934. That's where it came from.
This is the definition from black.
Synonyms. These are synonyms.
Right.
All the words that black mean. Not synonyms that actually means another word same meaning. Go ahead.
So it says blackness, noun, blackness, niggrescence, nigritude,
Nigritude. Listen, brothers.
Samad.
Keep quiet so brothers can hear. Start again, bro.
It says noun, blackness, nigressence, nigritude, denigration, darkness, lividity, religiosity, purity and lack of light, Then it says for the verbs, it says black, blacken, denigrate, nigrify, blotch, smut, smudge, smirch, smudge, sully, grind, soot, besut, besmut, besmudge, besmudge.
God damn. Okay, stop right there. They're really insulting the shit out of you when they call you black. Come on, bro. So for all you people out there that worship, or do this February thing, Black History Month, when they put black before something, they are insulting you. Absolutely, but hold on to it. I want you to hold it. I want you to read that again. And every time the verb part, all right? And every time you read it, I want you to say people behind it.
Okay. Denigrate people, nigrify people, blot people, blotch people, smut people, smudge people, smirch people, smudge people, sully people, begrind people.
Now stop right there. You know what sully means, right?
Fuck yeah.
Dirty. All right, that means you like when your clothes are all sweaty and funky and you funk.
You sour.
You got dirt on you. You've been doing construction all day. That's sully. You stank. Sully people. You hear that, black folks? So-called? That's what they're calling you every time they say, well, the black people. No, and they're saying it with a smile on their face. And identifying you as these words. Finish, brother.
Begrind people, soot people, besut people, besmut people, besmudge people, besmudge people, ink people, and ebonize people.
So there you go, man.
Yeah.
They're really insulting the shit out of you. Murph, read that. I think I know the one you got. Do the same thing.
It's the old one.
Baba Kashaf.
It's and they got the picture, man. The picture wicked as fuck.
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
Then they show you the white guy. Wait till you read, and then you gotta read the one for so-called white too.
So this is black with this fucking symbol on it. This black. It says opposite of white, dirty, messy, without light. We the children of the light. Spirit, dark, illegal, dim, smuggled, sombre, disastrous, dismal, obscure, sullen, bad tempered, angry, horrible, grotesque, malignant, unlucky, unhappy, depressed.
Now, go back and put people behind every time. Because if they're calling you black people, sully people.
Opposite of white people, dirty people, messy people, without light people, dark people, illegal people, dim people, smuggled people, sombre people.
That shit piss you off.
Disastrous people, dismal people, obscure people, sullen people, bad-tempered people, angry people, horrible people, grotesque people, malignant people, unlucky people, unhappy people, depressed people.
Right, and we are depressed.
That sounds like Israel.
That sounds like the Israelites to me. All right, they would be on the bottom. They wouldn't know who they were. All right, what you got, brother? Salaki, brother, Salaki.
And this is Romans, the 4th chapter, the first.
Hold that, brother. We gonna go through Romans.
Yep, I got one.
Hold that. I want you to. So you the one that's gonna read it. What you got, brother?
This is when you said everybody said this is not Israel, I immediately was grabbing this Isaiah 61:1. The spirit of the Lord Yahweh is upon me, because Yahweh has anointed me to preach good tidings to the meek. If you go into that word meek, is a condition. I learned this a few years ago, but when you actually look into it, it confirmed it, and it means needed help. That's who we are as a nation. It says how has in Lamentations how the light become dim.
Yeah.
So JK, on one level, JK is black, has become black
Right.
as a nation, has become a dim people, has become a depressed people. That's why we need our Lord. And King David said in Psalms 51, restore to me the joy of thy salvation. This is who we are. We need help.
So the children of light have now become dim. All right. So there it is, man. All right. Now somebody get those two precepts one more time. Romans. You in Romans. Go ahead. Get Romans 9:26, and somebody get it in Hosea. Papa shot, because then what they said in this video was that the CIA and the FBI were revealing that Iran intelligence was showing that the FBI and the CIA was studying, watching the Hebrew Israelites, and that the black Israelites, and that a lot of things that they're saying have credibility, and this is how they drew people in. and that they're challenging revised history and coming with evidences that challenge the status quo, establish the established lies. All that is true. Which they have fabricated history, but what they did, if you keep watching the video, they say how they have oppressed every black movement because they're worried about a black messiah. But when you get around to the 15-minute mark, and it's about a 25 minute video, when you get to the 15-minute mark, they say that they identify with black movements such as Black Lives Matter. And that was the connection. Because they say in Iran, which this government views as the T word, all right? And then they said BLM, which is government also based as a T word, which is a complete and total lie, because the Israelites don't refer to themselves as black. The ones that do are agents.
Quick point to everything we just read. You can't call us black. You call the other niggas black. You can't call the Hebrew Israelites black because we are set as a light into the world. Once we have this knowledge, we have the light. And what are we doing? Shining that light upon the gum. Come on. You can't refer to us as that. And also, you got
we're physically not black.
Yeah.
You got a room full of Northern Kingdom.
That's what I said. We got Issachar here. We got Ephraim here. We got everything. We got
Zebulon
here. Gad, Reuben. That's not black. Hell.
So that black shit is some made up shit, man. And do not accept it.
That's
right. Don't accept it. When they speak it, correct them. All right. So what they're trying to do is connect us to a movement that we completely disassociate and condemn. Exactly. BLM. That's a matter of fact. BLM. I've said it before. I'll say it again. That is a so-called white movement with black faces. That's right. That's exactly what it is. With women. So everything about BLM is anti-Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We don't follow women. That's the organization. And these women, be pegging each other.
So we don't condone that.
We don't condone that. We don't condone that. If it's going to be any pegging done, we doing it.
That's
women.
That's
organically. That's that way.
Organically.
All right. Okay. We're not dealing with women who do that to other women. We don't condone it in any way, form, or fashion. We actually follow what's written in the Bible.
That's right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. You got to stand on it now. Got to stand on business. Make it known.
Okay, this is scripture you call for, elders. This is Romans 9:26. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power.
So Paul repeated what Hosea said.
Yep.
And this is a future prophecy. All right. We always say that the small hats, because the Bible tells you that basically it tells you that Esau, Edom took our heritage. It tells you that very clearly. Okay. And according to them, they've always known who they are. Well, according to the Bible, I just find it amazing that Vocab Malone and his constituents try to dance and tap dance and walk around and talk around this talking point. All right, they try to talk around the fact that the Israelites would be on the bottom in every society that they're in. The curses told you that this would be a mark upon them forever, upon their seed forever.
Stuck to it.
Okay. So any people running around the earth claiming that they've got the records and they know who they are all along, they don't fit prophecy. You're either going to believe in the Bible, what's in the Bible, or you're not. And they have a problem when we bring out what's in the Bible. Mm-hmm. That's what it comes down to.
Okay, so Paul is the apostle to the Gentiles, and I want to bring this out in Romans the 4th chapter, verse 1. Okay, so in Acts the 26th chapter, Paul is standing before Agrippa, and he's telling him, I'm standing here for my life because I've been preaching this truth to Israelites. This is Romans 4:1. What shall we say then that Abraham, our father, as pertaining to the flesh have found? So Paul is writing to the Israelites in Rome. Okay, it says pertaining to the flesh. All right. So these are Israelites.
That's right.
That's all I got.
No, that was as a matter of fact, we could actually end the lesson right there, but we're not. We're gonna keep pouring salt in the open wounds.
I got it.
Right? As a matter of fact, he was writing to them. This is a good time for you to bring out that Acts 2 and 5 now. To all those, because why? How did they become they got scattered during the Greek conquering during the time of Alexander of Macedon. All right, during that scattering is when the Israelites became Hellenized.
Right.
And during that Hellenization, they were called Gentiles. All right. Then somebody get that John 7:35 too. Go ahead and read it, brother.
Con, I'll read one just to give context. It says Acts 2:1.
Context.
Context. It says,
Where that nigga at? Nowhere.
It says, and when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. So it would be like we're gathering now, like the elder always gives the intro. It says, and them that are scattered, all right, they look like unto them nations, because it's written in Revelations. And right now, when we name these different places, those are not geographically where those 12 tribes from that chart come from.
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, what all those nations that you named are all in Asia, Asia Minor, and Eurasia, the part of Asia that they call Europe.
James
That's
1:1.
That's where those people were. All right.
1 Peter 1:1, James 1:1, when it talks about the scattered.
Yep. Because there is no such thing as the Middle East. That's another social construct to support the false construct of whiteness.
Right.
All right. That's why they say that and use that term. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Kind of, I'll read fast because it's a big chunk. It says, jumping down to verse 5, it says, and then when they were dwelling at Jerusalem, Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. Now, when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? And it's going to proceed to name the land. It says Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and in Cappadocia and in Pontus, in Asia, Parthia, Pamphylia, in Egypt, and in parts of Libya.
Okay, so one place was in North Africa, but nevertheless still the Levant, still Western Asia, which is what the Middle East is Western Asia. Asia Minor is Western Asia, all right? And then the rest of Asia, and then up north, and northwestern Asia, which they call Europe today. Go ahead.
And the parts of Libya, about Cyrene, and the strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes. And you'd have to go into that word proselyte to understand those were converts after they have heard
people who no longer wanted to be Greek.
Right.
People who no longer wanted to be from Asia. They no longer wanted to be follow whatever they were doing among the Elam. The thinking. They wouldn't do that. All right. They wanted to come back to their heritage. Those are your proselytes.
Kind of says Cretes and Arabians, we do hear them speak in their own tongues the wonderful works of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Con. And then when you go to Revelation 7-9, I've heard people try to jump around. When you give the breakdown of the definition, I hear them read the definition and they leave about the part out about the what is it? Not the ethnos, but
the foulet.
About the foulet. All right, they
go around that.
The important part of the definition, they usually don't read it, or they have these new revised information where that definition isn't there. All right, but somebody can go ahead and read that too.
Okay.
I got it. I got Tobit 13:3. Confess him before the Gentiles. This is Tobit 13:1. Then Tobit wrote a prayer of rejoicing and said, blessed be the most high power God that liveth forever, and blessed be his kingdom. For he do scourge and have mercy, he leadeth down to hell and bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand.
Right, those scattered Israelites, wherever they were geographically, were still going to be touched by those prophecies, which are going to identify them. So no matter where they were in the map, these things were kind of upon them, like I said.
And now that you said that, somebody read the identifying marks. Anybody who ever get it.
Yeah, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter.
28th chapter. The identifying marks. Yep. All right, the signs that will be upon the Israelites, so you would know who they are just through the signs, despite what their outward appearance might be.
Exactly.
Right, because it said bring it down to hell. Now, in the curse, one of the curses says that you have how does it word it? To the lowest hell. You have burned, you have kindled the anger, in my wrath that is burned to the lowest hell.
That's Deuteronomy.
And that was the curses that fell us, man.
That's right. And we have not come out of that lowest area.
Hell no.
All right. And when you not following Yahweh Shemel Shai by Shem Kadadash, it's no way you can rise up above the hill.
You know what? You know what else? That's the beauty and the blessing and the curse and the blessing of being in Israel.
That's right.
Can't deny.
Because I find it amazing, all right, that even in our lower state, we outshine all the other nations. Right? And that's just a fact, man. When it comes to sports, when it comes to anything that we do, singing, dancing,
Wisdom.
wisdom, knowledge, you know,
Inventions.
whatever it is we do, no matter what the sport, soccer, football, boxing, but if Jake outshines them,
At the low state.
there's nothing.
Crazy on the side.
It's crazy. I know we just outshine them in everything in creation. Most of the modern, most of the modern devices that people use on a daily life in Babylon and around the world was created by Jake.
That's right.
And yet, they're always talking about
Generational wealth, and we can't get
Steve Jobs and all these people. And the thing with it, Zuckerberg, these guys are the after fact. All right. I mean, even the light bulb was a Jake named Latimer. Not
Thomas Edison.
Not Edison. Edison didn't do that. Latimer did. As a matter of fact, you got court records. You actually got court record documents when Latimer suing Edison and proved that it was his invention in court. There's actually records that you can look up and see, man. There's the elevator, the engine, the damn refrigerator, the stove, the monkey wrench, the railroad, the color TV, right?
Video game.
Now, as a matter of fact, the most used thing of all, we're all broadcasting live. GPS, global positioning. That was created by Jake.
Right. Hey, Steve Jobs stole his iPhone shit, a jigaboo cut down. The black woman made it. The black woman made it.
It was a
and I get that jigaboo credit. The black woman made that iPhone.
Hey, even the comb and the hot comb, man. The whatchamacallit?
The dispatching system for the railroad was made by a black man.
Plus the third rail and the elevator.
Yeah, elevator, yep.
So there you go, man. I mean, we can just go on and on and on. But the fact is that even in those identifying curses, in those curses that identify who the children of Israel really are, because they don't like to deal with Bible prophecy. They try to appease. They try to appease to the point of emotional tactics and use this black and white thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you just hate white people. No, we got brothers that look like so-called white people. All right, especially in Great Millstone. Okay, and I haven't seen any other camps, but in Great Millstone in the affiliate camps, man, they are so-called. I mean, we all know the brother in the DTA was the brother Shamar.
Yeah.
And I remember, and so before he even joined DTA, the brother would go and put on a garment, put on this meat tree, and he would go out there and prophesy and condemn himself, condemn all white people. And I was commenting on this video. I'm like, bro, you're not an Edomite.
They don't do this.
Oh, he was men of valor.
Men of valor. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, men of valor. Right. That brother Shamar. Yep. All right. You saw Shamar walking down the street. Oh, look at that white guy. Mm-hmm. All right, but that's clearly not a story. The Lord's not going to put the spirit to understand and know the scriptures the way he does on a so-called white person. He's not going to do it. Right, Vocab alone, he tries his hardest, but he just can't, man.
You can't.
Right. And everything that he talks about is he's avoiding talk points and trying to control the narrative. Or he just changes shit up and make it something completely that is not.
Totally stupid.
I see there's no pleasing you. It's not way to please you. Like, we got so-called. My bad.
I got it. Finish your statement, brother.
Oh, yeah. But hey, look, man. Look. This is a spiritual thing, man. The scripture says we're gonna know through the spirit that ye are the sons of the Lord.
Can I say something real quick? What's so funny about vocab alone? It is, he tripped on his own words and all that. Because, what's funny is, he talks about all this black stuff, right? But he's been on my live streams multiple times. Doesn't address me. And it's funny because you had the one brother, I think he's from, I don't know if it's in Nashville, I believe. It's from Nashville. He was getting on him for saying, he's saying nigga. Okay, so what is it? Are we black Israelites? What are we, man? What is it?
Which one is that?
You know?
Yeah.
But see, because they know in the spirit that, hey, you got Jakes that are going to look like other nations, man. They can feel it. He knows that
He
we're
mad
different.
he not one.
Right. Exactly.
Period.
And
Period.
I've said it, and some woman came on and said,
That's his thing.
I'm waiting for the evidence to drop, but a woman came on and said what I've been saying for years,
Calm.
and she said that that the whole purpose of all that 23andMe and all that DNA shit was to find the Lord's chosen among them.
Absolutely. I saw that.
And I was when she said it, I was like, I've been saying
That makes sense.
And she said that's what it is. They're looking for the God gene and all the other people, man. They know who we are. That's why they watch us. That's why they send people unlearned, foolish people. Matter of fact, all the money that you paid to vocab, y'all need to just get it all back. He's failed too much.
Absolutely.
He's failed so has Dr. White. So we even heard from Quas Brown anymore after his debauchery and his sexual, he's a sexual predator, right?
Just like the regulars.
And the truth be said, truth be said, the average Christian is a sexual predator. Because how did they, look, they raped, robbed, and murdered America, Australia, India, New Zealand,
The world.
the world, all of South America. It's funny how, you got all these our brothers and sisters down and all throughout South Central, America. And but the people that are controlled down there are Edomites.
Ain't that nuts?
It's very few actual, Northern Kingdom people that are actually in positions of power. Okay,
And guess what?
In their own countries.
And guess what happens if they didn't align politically with America? America always intervenes. See, America does this via politics, via laws. They do these coups, and now this world it's privy to it.
2915.
All right, in the 80s, that's basically what they're all uncovering now. That's why you have this big fragmentation between the CIA and the FBI. And the CIA, I'll tell you,
Let them fight and shoot it out.
they said the CIA isn't in the business of upholding American laws. The CIA is in the business for maintaining America as a thriving entity.
And that's by any means necessary.
And that
By any means necessary. That means cutthroat murdering, blowing up shit, doing T-acts and blaming on somebody
right.
else. All that, man. That's what they do. All right, I just watched Sicario again. The movie Sicario, and it even talks about the Sicarii in the beginning of the movie. All right, and then basically these cops are trying to do everything by the book. All right, and they're upset with the with the CIA. They're angry because the way that the CIA is operating. And the girl realizes, which is played by what's her name, Emily Hunt? Emily Blunt. Yep. All right, and I forget that the Jake that was in Get Out. But anyway, they're partners. All right, and they realized that and they didn't want him, and they wanted to use her and not him on a mission simply because he was a lawyer. And then when they realized they needed her, she said, "Well, I'm not gonna do this if my partner not coming with me." And the dude was like, "Fucking lawyers." He didn't because the CIA. He didn't want the CIA guy. CIA is not supposed to operate within the American territory.
Exactly.
If you watch that series 0 Day,
Right.
which I should turn you on to it. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch that yesterday.
What's it on?
0 Day. It's on
Netflix.
And
Netflix.
that shit is heavy because Esau telling himself, and it mirrors. It literally mirrors what's going on in the world right now. Everyone is turning on America and they're turning on themselves and fighting internally.
Right.
You need to watch it. And they got Angela Bassett as the president, and basically Robert De Niro is the former president who has no authority, but yet
Pulling
but yet he's
strings.
playing. Basically, he's the assistant president like Elon Musk. Because now you got a president, a vice president, and the assistant president. And the assistant president seems to be more
The one calling the shots.
than everybody. All right. So that's basically the role that Robert De Niro's playing. And in the Senate, I don't want to give the movie away, but it's centered around a false attack, a false one, and creating, and it's the same thing in and Sicario, because they were trying to control. They weren't trying to stop. All right, they were trying to control the drug trade and keep their own people. You know how cops do it here in Chicago.
Yeah.
They got their own corners. And,
That's
you know,
it.
and when they see,
Protecting their
there's one
spots.
gang on the corner that the cops ain't fucking with, they go.
They shut them down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They shut them down and then they put their guys back.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Exactly. So it's the same thing, man. And they do that and all because all these alphabet organizations that carry badges, they're nothing but gangs.
Absolute
And they start
organized.
from gangs. Watch the gangs in New York.
That's it.
The
Perfect
police
movie.
departments and fire departments were all gangs starting.
Yep.
That's how they started off. They were gangs. Okay? Watch the movie Gangs in New York.
Right.
Elder, in one neighborhood I used to live in, they got rid of all the gangbangers, and guess who bought up all the blocks? The police. It was a black cop, and he bought up all the areas where the niggas were selling drugs at. All the cribs got boarded up, and it was like 3 cops came and bought all that shit up.
You know, it was a small hat behind him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's always.
Yeah, he got some financing.
It's always a rat.
I got that Isaiah place.
Go ahead, brother. Bring it out.
This is Isaiah 29:15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us?
Right. So what's gonna happen is that Esau Edom will never give us a platform where there will be cameras going live for the world to see, and then their best educated professors and debaters could actually, go back and forth with us with the scriptures. They couldn't do it because we would completely annihilate them. And I mean the younger brothers can do it.
That's right.
I mean, shadow banning is because of us. That shit came about because of us.
Absolutely.
That the great millstones, the first brothers who got
our videos started getting shadow banned.
Yeah, shadow
Then
banned.
they started shadow banning Richie from Boston and all these other people. And,
we had like Jim at Chicago 26. It's 26 because it was 26 pages.
Yeah.
You know?
Before that.
Before that.
That's
it was
it.
26
They was going through us, boy.
So, what will make them shut down 25 other pages? Well, really 26, because 26 got knocked too.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
But the show must go on.
Right, because you have to understand, man. The truth is the biggest danger to Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man. That's right. Because his whole existence and his whole government structure and it all is based upon lies, which is why, like they said in the video, this is why they worry about us and our so-called black Messiah. Well, his name is Yahushua.
Yep.
And the scriptures describe not Jesus, not Jesus, not Yehoshua, all right, but Yahushua. And the Bible describes him as looking like a jasper and a sardine stone.
That's right.
And you get a light brown sardine stone, and you got a dark brown sardine stone. But they're flesh color. All right. And I've told you before too that they hijacked the word. They replaced swarthy with black. Yeah, and now we know why. Because when you talked about someone swarthy, you were talking about someone that was brunette or brunette. All right. It was literally connected to skin complexion. I have a book that talked about the swarthy hordes of Scotland, talking about the Scots. They were called the swarthy hordes. All right. What did he say in what was that movie, Braveheart? He said, you know what the problem with Scotland is? There's too many Scots.
It's full of
So you gotta think, you gotta understand what happened, with the learn the history about Oliver Cromwell and his brother and what they did. Right? Oliver Cromwell was charged with removing all the black people from Ireland, Scotland, and Britain.
Damn.
All right. And St. Benji brought out that letter that Elder Taz from up top brought out. The Benjamin Franklin. Matter of fact, could you pull it up and read paragraph 24? I'm surprised.
On the increase of mankind.
Bible shot, brother. If you got it, you get it. But that's what it's called. Observations on the increase of mankind. So basically, what he's saying is that the only mankind is the pale ones, because he speaks against everyone that's swarthy or tawny, which is the rest of the world. That's all all the Indians, all the all the Asians, everybody else is Swarthy or Tani, right? The Polynesians, the Hawaiians, the Tongans, right?
Was it the English used to use that as a proverb? They'd be like, and you know why he failed? Because he was a Scot. And them pure Edomites, they would basically use that as a taunting proverb whenever so-called Scottish, like they were unsuccessful and they were going through their famines and shit. That's how Esau used to, basically what Esau did here in America with the Irish that came here during the potato famine, the same thing Esau was doing to them over there across the pond, man.
Of course. And a lot of them got treated the way that they were treated. Like I said, you learn the history about Oliver Cromwell. They were removing, all the Scots and the Irish from Ireland, right? All the seed line of King James and their families. They were removing them and sending them to Montserrat, to Jamaica, to all those places, man. That's what they was. And then because I had a client of mine who actually has an Irish last name, and we talked about this. And he went and did some research. He said, "See, look what I found. There were white people on those ships too." I said, "Yeah, that's because they had black fathers." Oops. See, they were right. So they would, in the book, the Negro Question, it goes into the history and shows you the evidence. A lot of those Scots and Irish had babies with Edomite women. So some of their children look like what? Yeah. Right? They were looking like Narazaki. Right? So, but
love you.
Right. They were looking like Narazaki, but their fathers was, dark brown, chocolate.
No signs would say no blacks, no dogs, no Irish.
Right. Absolutely.
Even today, this is saying Ireland is the niggas of Europe.
There you go. Hey, look, this is the word. In case you didn't know, the word Dublin literally means a city of blacks.
City of blacks.
That's what it means. Dub means black. Right? So that's another one of them negative terms you can add to black. That's what dub means. So Dublin, the city of Dublin, it was the city of blacks. So if you're looking at the current population, how does that fit now?
The Armenians, they had got slaughtered. They had slaughtered. I don't remember exactly how that happened, but a lot of them is niggas. Those motherfuckers. A lot of them was in Kosovo, Eastern Europe. There's a lot of niggas. A lot of niggas in Eastern Europe.
Jake is everywhere, bro.
Absolutely.
I got that story before you, bro.
Bring it up.
Yeah, but I got history.
Yeah.
So I can. This is the article that the letter to Elder Malcolm wanted, which leads me. I can straight to the point.
Yeah, verse 20, paragraph 24.
Yeah, which leads me to add one remark that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionally very small. With that first chapter. I mean, the first verse, the first two verses. All Africa is black or tawny. Asia chiefly tawny. America exclusive of the newcomers. Holy soul. So the Native Americans were not red. All right, they were not what so-called white people. It said holy soul. So that means they were tawny or black completely.
They were swarthy and tawny.
And in
brown.
Europe,
Go ahead.
And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russian, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion.
So there you go. That's where you get the coats of arms. When you go into the nature knows no color lines, and the images that he used were from I forget his name now. God damn it! But the books he used were from
Fairbairn's Books of Crest.
Thank you, Fairbairn's Books of Crest, which you can actually you can get that book. You can only get that book at the Library of Congress. And as a matter of fact, you have to be a congressman or a member of the House of Representatives to even get that book out. Because
protecting the truth.
Yeah, because if you get that book out and open it up to the public, you gotta wait, who are all these black people? You know, all of a sudden,
it was Cambridge and shit.
it's like, wait a minute, Conor McGregor, this not, you gotta all of a sudden you got a problem. Go ahead, brother.
Yep. As are the Germans also.
Wow.
The Saxons only accepted this after they took control, of course.
Right, after they removed the Brits, the actual ones. Go ahead.
Who would the English make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth?
And see, this is the heritage still in part because they're trying to make them. That's why they make all their movies when they go back to 8th, 9th, to 10th century, the medieval time, and try to make themselves
Bring
Henry
themselves up.
and King Arthur and all these, they try to make themselves all those people. The Vikings, what was the king? Alfred. And then they try to write the Last Kingdom.
Braveheart.
They try to make themselves those people, and they weren't those people.
Was not King James the King of Scotland and England?
And
Thank you,
Scotland
yeah.
and France.
His son, his nickname was what?
Black boy.
And the thing is,
that was Charles II, who was beheaded by the Cromwells.
And the thing is, people don't read research. They don't go into the books. They go into the autobiographies that mostly all these kings and princes and people have wrote about those kings. And when you read the autobiography of like William Shakespeare to different kings and queens around Europe, they all describe themselves as being dark skinned. King Shakespeare he said he was mad that people called him a black Jew boy because he didn't like the way they said it to him. Right? You're going to Queen Charlotte, who ran the Queen of the kings and queens of England. They go trace their bloodline too. She was described as a so-called black nigga woman with red hair. Right? She's a jigaboo.
Yeah, you can check your history, sort of. I thought it was Queen Sophia, but you can see where the Queen married an Edomite, and that's when the line became all. So
they change.
It was Sophia's grandmother, but I always said it was her, and I mix it up.
God. And see, but that's the whole thing.
She followed suit as her grandmother.
Right. And they switched it up. But if you go into the history, matter of fact, you can go to Leonardo da Vinci, you can go to Michelangelo, you can go to a lot of these so-called historians and look at their autobiographies and see how they describe each other and themselves and the time. And it's all so-called swarthy, dark, tawny, you know what I'm saying? Big lip, dark skin, brown skin. And that's in so-called Europe. That's why the brother Shafia, who's in the rafters, every time he goes overseas,
He take them pictures.
He takes pictures, he takes artifacts, he takes articles, and he brings back evidence and receipts.
I got some of his receipts on me right now.
Come on, bro.
I got a receipt where it shows you a painting that they created of one of the kings, and then it shows you the coin
that was in
from the actual time period and the actual king. And
Couldn't have been him.
You see the wide nose, the big lips, the woolly hair. But then the painting on the wall is some dude looking all soft with blonde hair. So this is what they, and that's the whitewashing of history.
Even the story Romeo and Juliet, it was talking about a nigga dealing with an Edomite woman. So why the fuck would he make a story like that? So why would he even make a story? Exactly. So why would he make a story like that, dealing with an Edomite woman? If that's the case, if he was supposed to be an Edomite,
if he'd been
but he's
Edomite,
jailed. That's how you know he's an Israelite.
All his plays.
Everything that he did, Hamlet, all of them. And so all those things were whitewashed. And this is why they hate us. This is why you have to understand we are a threat to their existence, to their rulership, because our existence is a threat to them staying in the position that they're in.
But that's what
and they needed us to stay asleep. They tried to kill us and murder us all, but they failed at doing that. So they use this they Isaiah 29:15 again. And they use lies and deceptions to hide the truth, false information. And what's that saying? What is his name? Voltaire? In the time of lies, it's a revolutionary act to speak the truth. That's the reason why I don't say that just because it sounds cool. When I say we're risking our lives and our freedom to do so. We literally are risking our lives and our freedom.
Yeah.
All right. The scriptures talk about those who have hazarded their lives.
Sounds like that.
No, the word Scott go back to scopos means darkness.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not gonna name a pale people after darkness. Then the average surname in Scotland was Broom, which is Scottish for brown. All right, talking about the population. And then another thing, King George III, Queen Charlotte Suffolk husband, he was
nigga. He was a Jake.
Message.
Yeah. So you can't hide this history, man. If you look at what's that book we had? The Jacobite prisoners when describe their skin color stuff. They come from Ireland. They got
that was in the Negro question.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. So you look at they complexion. It say Rudy Brown, Nut Brown, black, all types of stuff, man.
Yeah, even when you look at the true picture of Saint Nicholas, it's a nigga.
Right.
It's a nigga in Turkey.
Right.
All right.
That's what it's
because when you look at Tarshish was I believe
It's sitting in Western Asia. But go ahead, bring out that scripture, brother.
Shalom. All right, this is Ezekiel 35.
Sit down.
35 and 10. Okay, because Esau got that hatred, right? This is Ezekiel 35 and 10. It says, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we shall possess it, whereas Yahweh was there. And these two countries is, of course, the northern and southern kingdom. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thy envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies, which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me, and I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. As thou did rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee.
And see, that's what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
They know that there's a recompense coming for them. All right? There's more to that, brother?
Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it. And I shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh.
Hold on. They say some Idumea or all?
All Idumea.
See, the Most High is married with all so-called white men. I don't give a fuck if it's
Yeah,
white men.
well, hold on. Let's address that. He's mad when Edomites that look like they black too.
Come on, man.
So look, because look, Esau raped more than anybody.
That's right.
So there's a whole lot of dark
Chocolate tear.
chocolate Edomites walking around. The BOIs don't like to talk about that.
Hey, how many times do we used to talk about that one little chocolate tear used to come by camp when we was on State and Adams.
Yeah.
This motherfucker, he would even show his
The
pictures.
artists.
The artists.
Right.
Now, you know, in every Jake, when they got an artist book and somebody said, hey, what you drop?
I seen it last week.
First of all, I got this, I got that. This is the one I was doing. This. They're going to give you the whole breakdown and hope you buy one.
He hit his
This nigga was like, no. And then when we saw this shit at Dunkin' Donuts, remember the time we went to Dunkin' Donuts? It was some bullshit.
He was sitting down, we were behind him, so we looked over and he was drawing women's fashion and shit.
Yes.
Dresses and shit.
Like,
I was like,
Chocolate Edomite.
Pig.
There's a lot of chocolate ass Edomites, those niggas in school. You say, where his soap? That nigga in school, like, wait a minute, he don't got that
hey,
kind
you
of
know,
vibe.
you know what? You remember that when my dog was on Adams and Van Buren, and that was that day that you had them three sisters. And shit.
Yep.
oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm standing on the sign, I'm checking it out, and the two sisters, two of them is all
Dealing. They
They
dealing.
came, you know when they into it because they
I
come
remember
up.
that.
I mean, they came down there on top of the sign. I thought she was gonna start humping it. All right, but the one she kept
Laid
stepping
back in the back.
and stepping back and stepping back, and she's
Yeah.
sitting there.
She was.
All right, so I'm watching, so nobody paying attention to her. I am. So they going back and forth with the sisters and and bringing them up to speed on the scriptures. So I went over there and I told my God, I said, ask her what her father is. And so he stopped and he said, you, the one who was standing up. And he said, what's your father?
She said,
my father is Jewish.
Yeah.
He was born
Yeah.
in Israel.
She said it just like that.
And she probably was darker than
Both of them.
every brother in here.
right.
All right, we're talking about Yahweh Sop dark.
She
Right? But her father was an Amalekite. Right? And it showed in her spirit. I already knew it. I just needed to hear her say it. Right? The spirit had already told me, and then she confirmed it. So for you BOIs out there,
right.
all right, you don't like to talk about the other way around.
Right.
Right? So just like Esau laid seed every damn where, Jake has too.
Yes,
Right.
So our people gonna come looking like all people.
Yes,
All right, we gonna get ready to wrap. Give me the last scripture. And I still need. Nobody still brought out that.
Isaiah 20.
The what?
This is Isaiah 29.
Hold on.
Nobody still brought it up. Stay up. That Deuteronomy 28. I got verses. All right, whoever got it. Okay, come. That's gonna be the last one. Go ahead, brother.
This is Isaiah 29 and 15. It says, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in deep. And their works are in dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us?"
And who knoweth us, right? You know how the things that Esau searched out. All right. Okay. My favorite scene in modern TV is Mr. Nancy, Anansi.
Oh yeah.
All right, with Orlando Jones, man. That scene is just so damn powerful. There's another part to it too. I want to get them both and make sure I keep it, man. All right. But when he says, "Oh, y'all don't know y'all black. Y'all all black."
Damn.
He said, "Oh, y'all thought y'all was just people." All right. He said, "No, but y'all black." He said, "When these Dutch motherfuckers decided y'all was black and that they was white, all right." And you know, for those of you who don't know, he got fired after that. All right.
Well, then that's
He was not in the next season. And the season was, and you know what? And the show was weak without him, and it went off the air.
There you go.
Because he kept bringing that fire in damn near every scene.
You couldn't follow it. It's like,
Yeah, you're right,
you
brother.
couldn't follow it.
It's like Beyonce putting on a show and then Britney Spears coming up behind.
Yeah, right.
It's like, damn. You're right. Well, I mean, on the entertainment value.
It's like come on. Nobody wanted to come behind Hammer when he did his show. Everybody like,
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't come up.
You're gonna have Rick James who get mad and talk about Prince.
yeah, that too.
It's like, man, this little motherfucker's making me work too hard.
That's right.
No. Go ahead, bring out them last scriptures.
It's Daniel. I got one. It's Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. It say, "Men shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand."
And see, they'll take that scripture and they'll run with it. See, you see, it said white. That has nothing to do with color. It's talking about purity.
There you go.
All right, it's talking about being white. That's why they labeled themselves that. Because you know what, Murph, you never did read the white version.
No, I didn't.
You read the black, but you didn't read what they say about white. Because Esau, like we said, there's no such thing. As a matter of fact, you got to finish that because they identify themselves as red. All right, in that letter, in that Ben
I
Franklin
got you
letter.
for that white.
Go ahead, you bring it out, and Benji gonna read that. We done. Oh, no, we still got to read that 28.
This is the white that the elder asked for the definition. The opposite of black. But it's all totally the opposite of Esau. But I want to say that. All right. It says white, color of milk or fresh snow. Innocent, unstained. See, innocent.
People.
Exactly. Innocent people, unstained people, pure people, unblemished people, bright people, anti-revolutionary people. Unsuspicious people, reliable people, favorable people, honorable people, honest people, upright people, without bloodshed, free from guilt people.
Blasphemy!
Blasphemy!
Lies!
There you go.
They got a whole phrase right now. It's called white guilt. That's completely against. They know what they did over the years. They only got the phrase now because it's been brought to their face. Not just by us, the whole world is mixing the shit they're doing.
Colonized.
All right?
Right, because the people over the Fiji Islands, they remember what was done to them.
South Africa.
The Polynesians remember what was done to them. The people in Easter Island, they all remember what they done to them. They were healthy people, and they left. Half their men was shot with muskets, and all their women were full of syphilis and gonorrhea. They raped every damn body.
The Japan still has
there you go.
has to restore too.
Apartheid was very recent.
Yep.
That's 30 years ago, right?
That's right.
And now we see the fruit of it where them South Africans are turning up against the Canaanites,
Yep.
taking over their farmland. You hate it. That's over there in the first
Kill the
chapter.
boy.
Greatly despised.
Oh, they got Salaki of the Benjamin. They got the fucking white town in South Africa where they said no like black faces can come in here. They coming at their shit, man.
Yeah.
They said it's a whole town. This shit called White Town. Like the
Africans taking
fucking
their
movie.
farmland back.
Yeah.
And just to land back off what you said,
That's
Murph,
real.
this is Exodus 4 and 6. And the Lord said furthermore to him, put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. If you go into Leviticus 13th chapter, it tells you leprosy is so-called whitish to reddish. It says somewhat white, somewhat red skin. The Lord calls leprous. All right.
Thin yellow hair coming out of
A
it.
thin yellow hair. If you go further into
Right.
to Leviticus 13, it breaks it down. The so-called white man, so-called reddish to whitish to blonde hair is all Edomitish. It's all leprous. It's all
Diseased.
not wicked.
Okay, finish that, St. Benny.
Russians, Swedes are generally what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also. The Saxons only are accepted, but with the English make the prima body of white people on the face of the earth. I could wish their numbers were increased. And while we are, as I may call it, scarring our planet by clearing America of woods, and so making this side of our globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of the inhabitants in Mars or Venus, why should we, the sight of a superior beings?
That proves that they really don't worship the Bible at all. The Bible was a front to try to steal our identity. They were worshiping Mars and Venus, ancient Grecian and Egyptian and Babylonian gods. All right, but go ahead.
Why should we darken this people? Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America, where we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and tawnies of increasing the lovely white, and red.
See, so all of a sudden, a century and a half later, or a century later, all of a sudden the Gadites are red now. The Reubenites are red now.
Mhm.
He just told you that the white man was red.
Right.
And the Bible says Esau, Edom, the Esau came out red all over. Right? So they're the real red people.
Come on now.
So white people are really the red people. And your former president, not your former president, but one of your former forefathers, Benjamin Franklin, told you so. All right? Get that Deuteronomy. We're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
28 verse. I don't know which start. Let's read it real quick. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 45. It says,
You thought it's 43. What's 43 say?
43, it says, the stranger that is within.
Start there.
Deuteronomy 28 and 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Right, and that happens throughout Israel, especially among Judah. Right. The strangers that are among them get up very high, and they have to, we have our little saying that, the northern kingdom gets it first, Judah gets it the worst. And that's because they understand the role and the rank and file, and they knew that they had to keep Judah tightly oppressed. All right, but go ahead.
And thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
So, I don't know any black bankers.
Not one.
All right. And there was some in the earlier part of the century, but all those banks. Matter of fact, there were banks right here in the Black Belt over what they call Bronzeville today.
Right.
All right, but they all got destroyed. All right, but go ahead.